guys, Chris here with Super Savvy Travelers. Hey, before I do anything, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We have so much good stuff coming up. Now, I wanted to go over a few things with you today because I know everybody's looking at the Amalfi Coast. They're like, you think of Italy, you think of Amalfi. There's gorgeous views, the sun, dancing off the little waves, that blue sea that just stretches onto eternity. What's not to love? It's gorgeous. But when you start looking at the prices there, you start going, oh my gosh, they are eye-watering in Italy. And it's just, to me, it's like ridiculous. Amalfi is beautiful. There's no getting away from that, but it's very touristy. And you're going to pay tourist prices for everything, for food, which probably is not going to be as good as if you go into the hinterlands a little bit, because they have to deal with a huge volume of tourists every single day. Okay, so the food, there may be great restaurants there. I'm not saying there aren't, but I would say probably my guess would be overall that the food would be better in a place that wasn't so touristy. And of course, the real estate prices and everything is going to be very, very expensive. Tons of traffic, a lot of noise. It just goes on and on and on. So what other alternatives are there? I've chosen 3 towns that have the same beautiful Amalfi views, the same ambiance, the same characteristics more or less. But you can buy a big, beautiful property with stunning sea views for under 100K. Would you like to see them? I thought so. Okay, so the first one is in Acquappesa. We've been talking a lot about Acquappesa. The second is in Belvedere Marittimo, which, to be honest, I think is the next place to boom. And then the other is in Scalea. There are still deals to be had in Scalea, even though Scalea has kind of boomed already, but I don't think it's done booming. So understand, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a broker in Italy. I'm not an agent in Italy. I am a registered licensed California real estate agent, but not in Italy. Understand that going in. So this is just my observation and experience based on what I've seen, based on the trends that I've been looking at. This is what we're seeing. So I'm going to take you through 3 of these houses. The first one in Acquappesa. Let's take a look. The one in Acquappesa is very interesting. The listing price is $69,000, which is insane. And it has 168 square meters, which is almost 2,000 square feet, guys, for this beautiful place. It's been totally redone, and it has spectacular views. Now, what I love about this place is it has tons and tons of light. Now, here's a picture of the entry, which is very pretty. You can see that the surrounding area has a lot of greenery. It's a very quiet and tranquil zone. The ones that I've seen on these contradas, which are the smaller little roads leading in and around the hills, are generally a lot cheaper, and usually they're independent houses. Now, coming into the front door of this one, guess what? Wide hallways, I love them. I can't stand skinny hallways. I hate them so much. This one is lovely. The floors look to be in great shape. The doors look new. If you come in, you're coming in from the front door, and now you're looking into the kitchen soggiorno area, which is the kitchen living room area. You're looking into the soggiorno pranzo, which is the living room dining area, which usually is one. The doors are beautiful, and they look to be brand new. And here's a picture looking into the soggiorno area. And of course, you've got balconies everywhere. You've got these balcony doors. They are aluminum, double glazed. They may not be the most, modern or whatever, but they're certainly very, very functional. If you wanted to, for aesthetics, switch them out, you can do that. I wouldn't. I think they're functional the way they are. I think this place has got a lot of value. 69,000, you guys, 69,000 euros. Okay. Now here's another view of the living room area. You can see, looking out through the balcony there, you've got a lot of greenery around you. And then of course you have this gorgeous sea view out the window. Oh, I love that. Now the kitchen I find very interesting. It's a very modern kitchen, but you can see that the kitchen itself, because kitchens are furniture, they will not stay with the property unless you write it into the compromesso, which is the agreement to buy and sell, where you lay out all your conditions and things like that. The kitchen will very likely go away unless you want it, you want to keep it and you negotiate that in. I would have this kitchen go away. Even though it's modern, there's some things about it that I'm not really happy about. They have this huge kitchen island, and you can see when you're looking between the kitchen island and where you have like the ovens and all of the storage and everything else, very skinny little walkway. And then the stove is on the other side. I don't understand that really at all. I would redo that entire kitchen. Sorry, it's a beautiful kitchen, but I would redo it. If you want a center island, I would make it a peninsula, and I would make it thinner. Now, for your kitchen, since this is gonna go away, I would go to Nancy at Brigante in Praia Mare, and she will make you a beautiful custom kitchen with all the bells and whistles for a very, very good price. We've gotten so many of our kitchens through Nancy, and she's done a beautiful job. In fact, we just found a kitchen for Casa Cristina, and it was, I think, 1,200 euros. A beautiful kitchen, fit right in that space that we needed to fit in. Absolutely gorgeous. So I would, you know, the kitchen's very nice. It's big. That's what you want to look at. How big is it? You could fit a very nice kitchen. I would put it probably around the perimeter and leave the space open. You could put a table in there for an eat-in kitchen. You could put a peninsula. You could do all kinds of things in that kitchen. The design of the kitchen, not my favorite. Now here's the bathroom, which has been totally redone, and I do like this bathroom a lot. They took out the bathtub, yay, and they put in a nice shower. I think that's wonderful. I'm not a tubby person, as you know, so I love a big shower and a lot of space to get dressed and do whatever. It has a window, which allows you to have a lot of airflow and whatnot. Now here's one of the bedrooms. I'm not gonna belabor the bedrooms. They look bedroomy, okay. Of course, you have this balcony looking out over the greenery and that sort of thing. Now, the shutters appear to be also aluminum, which is very, very good. You don't necessarily want to replace shutters. They are expensive. If these were wood, I would replace them, but they look to be aluminum. The next house is in the hills in Belvedere Marittimo, and you are only about 5 or 6 kilometers from the marina down there. And you know what the marina in Belvedere Marittimo has that everybody wants? The Calypso restaurant and gelateria. The Calypso is one of the best restaurants in the world. And I will tell you, last time I was there, they brought out the bread and I said, oh, this tastes just like the bread in Murija. I went to Murija, I was in the hospital there. And my roommate in the hospital gave me some bread. Murija is known for its bread, and it's some of the most delicious, almost like a cake bread you've ever had. And we went to Calypso and they had the same bread, and they said, oh yeah, we got the recipe from Murija. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so awesome. And you can call them and arrange to pick up bread from Calypso too. So if you live in Belvedere Marittimo, you can go have the best bread every day of your life. Anyway, I digress, because it's bread is one of my favorite subjects. But look at this house. This is an independent house. It is 100 square meters, 2 beds, 1 bath. Has a little bit of space around it, which is very, very nice. And like I said, you're very close to the marina up there, but you're up in the hills. And guess how much this is, guys? This one's listed for 40,000 euros. Granted, there's a little love that needs to happen. You can see from the outside, it's a very cute little house. Lovely. The views up there are spectacular. And, you know, the kitchen, okay, the kitchen's going to go away, and I would make that one go away. It's not a nice new kitchen. I would get Nancy again from Brigante in Praia Mare to make your kitchen for you. And you've got a good amount of space here to work with. This is the living room, dining room area. Look at the view out. When you walk out onto that balcony, the view is spectacular. A lot of light. I mean, this is a nice little place, guys. Tons of value. There's another view of your living room, dining room area. But this is my favorite. Look at this balcony. Oh my goodness. And you can see was taken in late afternoon, and I know because the sun is going down. You have some of the most spectacular sunsets you've ever seen. And to be honest with you, the best ones are in wintertime. In wintertime, I remember a sunset that just had layers of color, and they were so bright that everybody thought the picture was AI, and it wasn't. It was normal. And sometimes from this viewpoint, you can actually see Stromboli out there, and Stromboli erupts every so often. You can see smoke coming out. On a super clear day, we've seen Mount Etna, and that is pretty spectacular, and the Aeolian Islands down there in Sicily. Here's another view. You can see you're up in the hilly area, up in the beautiful greenery. It's just stunning. And there's another bedroom there. Again, I will not belabor the bedrooms. They are typical. The bathroom, I would redo. Okay. So it's functional, but you see there's a washer in there. You have room for a washer in your bathroom. That's very important. And then of course you put your clothes out on your balconies and they dry in an hour. That's a really nice feature there. Yeah, old fixtures, old stuff, would totally redo it. The new tiles, new stuff, and you can do it without getting permits if you just keep everything in the same spot. Don't move the sink, don't move the toilet, don't move the bidet, just basically get the new ones that are smooth, compact, very, very beautiful, give you more storage space. Just on and on, you could make it absolutely stunning for probably less than 5,000 euros for that bathroom. And you have a little bit of garden space around. You have a garage. You can see there's an Ape's little butt sticking out, very cute. And a little garden. I mean, what more could you want? You guys, 40K. It's crazy. Okay, now we're gonna head up north a little bit to Scalea in the Petrosa area. The Petrosa area is where you find the Baia del Carpino, the Via Faro, which are a beautiful area up there because you've got really, really great views. I chose this one because it has some beautiful outdoor space and it has a beautiful park-like setting, which I really, really loved. Here's a picture of the outdoor space where, you know, you could have your dinners and stuff out looking at the trees and all of the various other things. Very, very pretty. And from another balcony, you've got this gorgeous view of the sea. You're looking through the trees, you're looking over all the houses in Scalea, so you're up high and it gives you just a gorgeous, gorgeous view. I love the trees like that. The trees in Scalea are so beautiful. This one is 129 square meters, 2 beds, 2 baths, and they're asking 85,000 for it. Now, 85,000, not a bad price for Scalea. Scalea's prices went up. I mean, it used to be you could buy those 2-bed, 1-bath with a huge terrace up on Via Faro, but our guys came in and snapped them all up. So now you used to be able to get them for 60,000. Now they're up to like 80,000. In any case, this I think is still a good value. There's a little bit of love that needs to occur. This is your dining room area and living room. If you like the tiles, you can keep them. Lighting fixtures, there's a beautiful lighting store down there in Scalea. I just go down and just haunt that store because I love lighting fixtures. And they got some nice ones. We bought some beautiful ones for Casa Cristina. We bought some for our new place down there and just having a wonderful time there. Now, look at this, the stairs. The stairs are generally marble. And this is a nice wide staircase. And guess what? There's a railing. I don't know why, but in Italy, they have these scariest of scary staircases with no railing. I would still put more railing on the this side of the staircase because I'm a railing person. I don't like the open staircase, but that's inexpensive. You can get that made to order if you want to. Now, here's another picture of one of the bedrooms. Okay, it doesn't show a whole lot of light. I think you could really make more light. I would lighten things up a little bit. Again, this may have been taken at a different time during the day. Here's the kitchen. The kitchen is really big. I mean, but again, I would make sure they take out that kitchen. Make sure they get rid of that stuff before you get there. And as we say, always put it in the compromesso that they're going to take all their stuff out. You really need to do that. And then before you go sign the act, like a day or two before, go do a walkthrough. Make it clear to everyone you're not signing the act until all that stuff is gone, okay? It's expensive to dump stuff, and you don't want to have that headache. Unless you want to leave some stuff in there and see how the flow of life goes. You want to move in right away and use what's there. We've done that in the past. Even with a bad kitchen, we lived with a bad kitchen for about a couple of years before we renovated, and it worked, you know. I mean, it was not super aesthetic, but it worked. And we got to see the flow of life. Then when we went to do the renovation, it went very smoothly because we knew what we wanted to do there. So, and here's another picture. What I love about these kitchens in Italy is they usually have like a balcony out the side, and so that you can open it up and you can let it all the heat and smell go out and everything else. I don't know why they don't like the kitcheny smells in the rest of the house. So usually the kitchen is, you know, sequestered from the house for that reason. But it's really nice because, you know, you're cooking and you've got the outdoors coming in. It's lovely. Okay, here's the bathroom. Okay, love can happen. Love can happen in the bathroom. One of the bedrooms, again, love. When I say love, I mean new tiles, you know, paint job, new lighting fixtures, that kind of stuff. You could actually, if it's big enough, create a closet. You can have that made. All of those things are very inexpensive. You don't really need permits for any of those things, and you can get them done relatively quickly. Now this one has 2 bathrooms, and they're 2 good-sized bathrooms. This one has a tub. Again, not tubby people. I would turn that into a shower. And here's another picture of the tub with a big window next to the tub. Could make getting in and out of the tub naked awkward, but that's okay. You could you could frost that window, and that's probably what I would do. Okay, one of the bedrooms, typical bedroom. Another view of the same typical bedroom. There's a little moisture up in the upper left-hand corner up there. I would have a look at that and find out, is this a condo complex? And if it is, do they cover that? How hard is it to get it done? It could just be a gutter, but I would look at that. I would get Antonello, get our architect Antonello Lucchese in Santa Domenica Tallao to go down and give you his assessment. Now, one of the things that Pete and I do with Antonello is, if you're buying a place down there in the Riviera di Cedri, we go with the drone, we take Antonello with us, and we drone the roof with Antonello looking over our shoulder. If he says, I want to zoom in on this piece here and see what that is, we do that. It makes your roof assessment way cheaper than sending somebody up there, and safer, really, because he can get a bird's eye view right there. He doesn't have to send some guy up and then depend on secondhand information. So that's a service that we do offer, and that is in conjunction with Antonello. Now look at this beautiful outdoor space. Lots of trees and greenery, super quiet, super tranquil. I just love it. And look at that, a garage. You need a garage if you're gonna have a car and for storage, and it's a good sized garage. So guys, check these out. I mean, I was all over Idealista and on our associate agents sites. They have some beautiful properties. If you need help, we're here to help you through the purchase process, buying property, looking for property, doing all the things you need to do to get a property and that kind of thing. So you can always contact us. So there you go, guys. Why would you pay, 250,000 euros for a closet when you could have something like that for less than 100,000? Makes sense to me. See you soon, guys.